Hey guys, Steve Moran here. I know you might be thinking, wait a minute, he usually shows up on Fridays and today is Thursday. That is absolutely correct. Today, I am talking to Rob Day with Conversion Logic and Ben Fairless with Accushield about the Smash conference that's happening next week in Las Vegas. And if you do anything sales and marketing, you should be there. Except that for one thing. You know what that one thing is, Rob, about going there?
What do you?
It's all sold out.
Oh well, yeah. You can't make a decision now. It's been a popular conference for years, and it's sold out quite a while ago, from what I understand.
Yep. So next, you ought to put it on your list for next week, for next year already. As soon as the registration comes up, last 2 years they've sold out weeks and maybe months in advance. So what I would like to really do is I'd like to just sort of do a couple of things today. I'd like to have you talk specifically about what you're going to be talking about, what you're thinking about at Smash, and I'd love to just sort of have your thoughts on the world of sales and marketing and senior living. So Ben, we're going to start with you. Why don't you start by telling us a little bit about who you are and why you're going to be there?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Ben Fairless. I'm the Director of Account Management at Accushield. And one of the first things that my team and I did when we came together was bring to market a product a lot of you have come to know as Reputation Accelerator, which essentially leverages the touch point, which is the Accushield kiosk, into a feedback capturing and review generating tool. And so now we really want to show how this portion of the sales and marketing experience from the adult, child, and the resident's perspective, it's actually beginning online, not when they walk through your doors or have their first conversation with a sales and marketing professional from the community.
So this is such an important topic. I spend a lot of time looking at senior living web pages and their reputation, and I'm always, frankly, shocked at how often I'll go to Google reviews, and there will be some post in there that says this community sucks, or some version of it, right? And it's such a missed opportunity. Or sometimes I'll go and I'll find that there are either no reviews or the reviews are really, really old. I don't know, Rob, reviews, how do you see reviews?
Well, reviews are important, and as we were talking before we got on the stream here, digital has become a bigger piece of how people are evaluating communities, and reviews are a piece of digital, right? Whether you're looking at random reviews or looking at Google Business Profile and seeing what's posted there. The average number of touch points that somebody goes as they go through that customer journey is now upwards of 18 or 20, according to Google, right? So not too many years ago, it was 4 or 5. You've got online, you did a search, you looked at something, maybe you talked to a friend. Now that's on steroids. You do that same process, but you search multiple different searches. You read reviews on different social media sites. You talk to friends, and so that whole customer journey is much more complex than it used to be. And reviews is a big piece of it.
Yep, absolutely. So Rob, let's talk a little bit about what you do in Conversion Logic and what you're going to be doing and talking about at Smash.
You bet. So Rob Day, Senior Director, New Business Development at Conversion Logix. We are a senior living specific digital marketing campaign strategy company. So we are working with our clients on all of the different aspects and all of the different levers you can pull to make sure that somebody who is going through that customer journey and looking for senior living for themselves or loved one, et cetera, that you can reach them on different aspects. There are a number of different places that you can reach somebody, whether they're educating themselves and doing a search, what is assisted living, what is memory care, or whether they're ready to buy, assisted living near me and search, or doing a branded search. So you have to have a very well thought out strategy that touches on multiple different aspects of that journey. You need to make sure that the information is correct. You need to make sure that you can find them. And then once they get to your website, you need to make sure that they can convert over. So Conversion Logix has tools that allow that to work as the best possible as well. And, the conversations that we're looking forward to at Smash, seeing what's out there, seeing what other people are doing from a standpoint of marketing and communication, and then communicating with our clients and prospects on the best ways to manage that digital spend, and then understand what the attribution is, right? Where that money was spent, what converted, what was the best channel, if you will, to change your occupancy and fill the community, because that's really what we're looking at. Success to us is helping you manage your spend better and drive occupancy.
Cool. So for both of you, one of the things I'd like to dig a little bit deeper into is this whole world of digital leads. When I was at Senior Living Innovation Forum earlier this week, there was a talk, and one of the talks, they talked about how today something like 70% of all senior living leads are digital. And it used to be that they were really small. I think even pre-pandemic, it was more like 50%. So the world is really changing. I think there's a general belief that the digital is going to become sort of the thing. Ben, I'd like to start with you. And I'd just like to have you talk a little bit about how you think about digital leads, the future of digital leads, and how to make those more effective.
Yeah, excellent question, Steve. And I think it is. I'm so glad it's becoming a focal point of the marketing mix in senior living, because right now, and this is a stat line from caring.com as of 2023, 91% of future residents and their adult children are starting their search on a site like Google. And so in our industry, there's a big emphasis on first impressions and the way you feel when you walk into a community. That's not taking place in the physical space anymore. It's taking place in the digital space. And if communities and operators as a whole don't have a focus on making the best possible impression and putting forth the character of their brand and their communities in those reviews, they're not going to get that business. Same goes if they're not the top 3 to 5 results that you see when you look for, say, assisted living in my area. None of those others exist to 90% of the people that are looking for this information. They're only going to go to that surface level information, and you need to ensure that it's good.
So what role does reviews play in making sure you're at the top of that list?
Oh, a huge one. From an SEO perspective and just from a consumer behavior perspective. If you think about it, when's the last time you bought a sandwich without looking up the Google reviews first? Now, think about placing someone who is your entire world in the care of otherwise complete strangers. Are you going to check those reviews? Absolutely you are. And now the generation that is doing the research is that which their whole experience in this world has been informed by this information. And so to provide that format to them to aid in the most important decision, one of the most important decisions of these residents' lives, is a must.
Cool. So Rob, you guys are all you're all about how do you get, when somebody shows up on a website, really helping to make sure that those people turn into prospects. Can you talk just a little bit with us about what people need to be doing on their websites to capture more leads?
Well, and we're focusing on getting them to the website as much as anything at Conversion Logix. And there's just a number of different levers you can pull. So obviously there's digital advertising, so spend on Google. There's also social media, right? From spend on Facebook or on Instagram. There is email blast follow-ups. There is geofencing. There is SEO work that you do both on-site and off-site of websites. So that's really the biggest difference today, is that there is no one or two areas that you need to focus. It is a well thought out strategy that is going to be customized for each individual, both operator and then community within their portfolio. So you may have a large lease up in an urban area, and you may have a stabilized smaller community in a rural area. You're going to have two completely different recommendations from us. You're going to have two completely different strategies on how to find those residents and find those prospects and turn them into residents. So you really need to partner with an expert, because having that internal resource is extremely difficult to be up and expert on all of the different areas that you need to be. That's why you partner with a vendor that knows what they're doing.
So I think there's always this question of how does a vendor, I mean, maybe I'm trying to figure out the right question to ask. Do you have some tips of what people can do to get started, and how do they talk a little bit more about how they work with you specifically?
Sure. I mean, it's a conversation for us. It is a sit down and understanding of what your portfolio looks like, what your occupancy levels are, what your levels of care are, what you're trying to achieve, because it may not be just looking for residents. Perhaps it's a careers campaign and you're looking to find new employees. That's a huge piece of what we work with our clients on. So it's a conversation point with myself or our team at Conversion Logix, and we will sit down and come up with a plan based off of your goals, your budget, and your community. So there is no one size fits all. I have a number of different tools at hand and an expert team behind all of our different departments that's going to put those campaigns together and drive results. So, I mean, it's having a conversation. Ben, I'm sure it's something similar with you on how you set up your team.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Ben?
Yeah. And to that point, Rob, I love the way that you talk about the tailored approach. I'll steal a quote from Charles Mann here. Senior living communities are like snowflakes. No two are alike, nor should the strategy to make sure that they're putting the unique character of their community forth be alike either. And I would say Reputation Accelerator is that common touch point that regardless of the reason that system is in there, whether it be for safety and security, infection prevention, or shift management, whatever the case may be, it's a touch point. And at the end of the day, that's what our industry needs to drive conversions, to see those reviews increase, to see those star ratings increase. And that goes for your staff as well. And improving the reputation on sites like Glassdoor, Indeed, places where caregivers are looking for work. Putting that best foot forward applies to your next applicant as much as it does your next move-in. And I think our industry needs to put forth significant resources in both of those areas to ensure that for the foreseeable future, we're retaining our staff and we're drawing residents into senior care, which is the superior option.
Yeah, I really like that a lot, because I think that one of the great opportunities we have in senior living is to do a better job of storytelling. And you don't necessarily think about reviews as being storytelling, but it's really the place where the storytelling starts, right? My mom, the mostly the stories we see on reviews when we think of reviews are bad stories, right? My mom went there and had a terrible experience, but in reality, you go there and you find stories where people will come in and say, "Hey, my mom moved in here and it changed my mom's life. It changed my family's life." So that's so important. A couple more questions. First thing, Ben, with you, what are you doing specifically? You're doing ed talks or anything else? Can you talk a little bit about that and what you're talking about?
Yeah, great question. So I will be giving an ed talk selfishly about Reputation Accelerator at Smash. And we're really going to be focusing on the way in which reviews create that first impression, which we find so important in many of our other interactions. This is the most important first impression your community can and ever will make. Let's ensure it's a good one by driving traffic to sites like Google through Reputation Accelerator, which is going to help you craft that experience the first time someone stumbles across your community or facility.
So what I guess one of the things I think I'm hearing from you is that you help people. I think what happens is people are afraid to ask for reviews. And so you have tools to help them with that.
We do. And we also have kind of the background and expertise to walk you through what it's like to operationalize that ask, because that is so important. And I know not every front desk person is comfortable with it. I know not every individual in the overall administrative side of the business is comfortable asking for it. However, it's a must. And education around that and involvement of all members of the community in the training and implementation process is a big part of what we do with all of our products, but especially Reputation Accelerator, because this is an automated tool, but make no mistake, it's driving results that are very much created by people.
Cool. Thank you, Rob. So what are you doing specifically at Smash? What are you talking about? What are you looking forward to there?
Great. Thanks for asking the question. We've got 3 people attending, myself, Jen Lovely, and Jason. We have a couple of events, both Monday and Tuesday night. We're going to be doing Blackjack Monday and Craps on Tuesday. Most of us are not gambling experts, so this is a easy way to come. The tables are going to be set up. They're going to be, sort of answering questions. It'll be Blackjack 101 sort of thing, but it's playing with real money that we're going to give you. So it's not fake money. We're handing out cash, and you can sit down at tables, have some great conversations, meet some great people, and play a little Blackjack or Craps. So that's what we're doing. And then we'll be wandering around the conference, setting up meetings. And if you're interested in chatting with us, reach out to myself or Jen or Jason and set up some time. Love to talk with you and learn more about what challenges you've got and how we might be able to partner and drive results.
Cool. So a couple things. First is last year I did the Craps thing and it was not very successful. So
for you personally, you lost all your money?
For me personally, I think it was all gone in about 5 minutes. I do much better at Blackjack than I do at Craps, and so maybe I had to just stick with that this year. But I actually like to, it sounds like great fun. I'd like to talk I'd like to hit just a little bit more. If somebody sort of comes to you and says, "Hey, Rob, we got a website, getting some digital leads, don't feel like we're doing a good enough job on it," where would you have them start? Besides, of course, having conversation with you.
I was going to say, besides having a conversation with me, that's where it wants to start. Whether it's me or someone else, you want to talk with somebody that knows what they're doing. Because what I've seen out there in the senior living industry is that still most people are doing it wrong. They've tried to do it themselves. They did it with a local vendor that doesn't understand the senior living marketplace. They've done a number of mistakes. You need to talk with somebody that understands who, you talk about buying personas, right? Who is that person that's doing the search and making the decisions? Well, it's the adult daughter is the gold star, but it's the younger generation. Ben mentioned it earlier. It's the adult son, or if you're going after the senior themselves, the prospective resident themselves, that's a different message for them than it is for the child, right? So it's sitting down and talking with somebody that understands both the marketplace and how to advertise and strategize in the marketplace. And as we said, there's so many different levers you can pull. It is not just one solution. So educating yourself and sitting down with somebody who knows what they're talking about is by far the first thing that they need to do, because it could be a website issue. It could be a digital strategy issue. You could be spending way too much money in the wrong area. You could be spending not enough money in the right area. There is so many different factors that it is a different conversation each and every time.
So I really love this because I know that as we talk with solution providers that support what we do, one of the things we frequently see is that they're spending money in places that are not very productive. And so I love the idea that they can sit down with you and you can really help them use their money more efficiently. And really, it really comes down to, how many dollars do you have to spend for the leads you need? Right. And you hate to throw those dollars away. So that's really terrific.
And even more so, Steve, that they may not be using some of the tools that are available to them. There's a number of vendors out there that have sort of they call it custom, but it's custom in a box. They only do 3 or 4 different things. And they say, Mr. Customer, this is what you should do. It's tried and true. Well, guess what? Instagram might work for you. Facebook might work for you. Geofencing might work for you. There's just so many different ways that you can explore the different options, and Conversion Logix uses all of those tools when appropriate. And you partner those with driving reviews and paying attention like Ben works on. Now you're talking about a real solution.
Yeah, I love this because I have a belief that there are enough older people out there with the financial resources to be able to fill every single senior living unit that's on the market today. And that when we start doing these things, we get the reputation right, we use the tools, we do the digital marketing right, we'll have full buildings. I have, over the last few weeks, I've talked to a number of people who are operating all of their portfolio well above 90%. So that's possible. And that's why you should be talking to Rob and Ben, because you can get there too. Rob, Ben, thank you so much for spending time with me. And I look forward to seeing you guys and the rest of you at Smash in Las Vegas next week. Thank you very much, and have a great rest of your week and safe travels.
Thanks for having us on, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.